Hi, I'm Brooke from Simply Speaking SLT, and I'm excited to show you my open-ended activity companions. So as you can see, when the spin button is clicked, the spinner spins to reveal a color or a number. When it's hit again, the spinner stops, and so do the arrows down the bottom. The arrows reveal a speech word that matches the phoneme you've selected in the position you've selected, and also reveal a number, which tells our students how many times they need to say their speech word before they get to move forward with the revealed color or number from the spinner. So there are all these phonemes included in each spinner set, as well as the blends and an open-ended spinner, which work great with the editable worksheets we'll talk about later on. Each phoneme is covered in initial, medial, and final position. However, the blends are just in initial position. So there are 4 different types of spinners included in this download. There are spinners that reveal colors, like this one seen here. There's also a spinner set for numbers that you'd normally see on a dice, so it can be used instead of a dice when you're playing games. There's also a spinner set that I call game pieces. It just reveals either a 2 or a 1, and we use it often with games that require pieces such as Jenga, pick-up sticks, to show how many times or how many turns the student gets or how many game pieces they get to play. And also included is an arts and crafts spinner, which is again another nice open-ended activity that you can use with any type of creative activity you're doing, especially great for group sessions. Now also included, as I mentioned, are editable worksheets. Now as you'll see, they're being filled in here on the screen and they auto-populate. So you fill in the first page and all the other pages will automatically have your targets. You fill in your targets on these sheets, and in group sessions you could have a different sheet for each student based on their goals, and then each student takes turns spinning the spinner to reveal their color or their number or their activity when crafting. As you can see in this example, it's for a student that would be working on the who question format, and so you could then make another sheet for someone working on synonyms, and then use the articulation pages as included in the spinner already for your articulation students. Okay, so like I said, some of the spinners included in this set are colored spinners, and I've provided 4 different versions of the colored spinner sets because I know that depending on which activity or manipulative you're using the spinner with, you may require a different amount of colors. Okay, so here's some ideas for how I use these in therapy. So one idea is that you could use a colored spinner to reveal which color building brick your students get to build with after they've said their speech sound. Another idea is to use with Play-Doh. So choose the spinner that best represents the colors of Play-Doh you have. I only have red, yellow, green, and blue, so I use the 4-color spinner set, and the students say their speech sounds, then grab a color Play-Doh to add to their creation. Another idea is for beading. You can spin the color bead you're going to add next to your beading, or you can also use the game pieces spinner in this sense to either spin whether you get 1 bead or 2 beads. This can also be the same for things like pom-poms and mini erasers and things like that. You can use the game pieces spinner to reveal whether they get to take 1 or 2, and then at the end the person with the most wins. And another thing I use this for very often is coloring in. So we spin the spinner, reveal our speech word, say our speech word, and then we get to grab our colored crayon or marker that matches the color that we spun. So like I mentioned earlier, the dice spinner or the 6-numbered spinner is a really great alternative to use with board games. So your students can spin the spinner instead of using the dice, say their speech sound, or if it's a mixed group, use the target sheet that you've created with the editable worksheets, and then they can move their counter once they've completed their targets. As also mentioned earlier, the game pieces spinner set is great for games like Jenga and games like pick-up sticks and anything where your students need to select a certain game piece or manipulative to complete a task. So dominoes is another example. And then finally, a fun thing to do is use the arts and crafts spinner for a nice open-ended creative session, either one-on-one or with a group, and the different symbols refer to cut something, glue something, color something, draw something. You choose what you do, and stick something. So you can have a bunch of arts and craft materials on the table, and your students can choose to make cards and things like that. Really great for holidays like Mother's Day cards, Christmas cards, those kind of things. So that's the end of my explanation for this download set, this bundle of open-ended spinners and editable worksheets. So these can be found in my Teachers Pay Teachers store, which is called Simply Speaking SLT. And also at the bottom of the listing is my email address, so do please be in touch if you have any questions. I can also be found on social media at Simply Speaking SLT. Enjoy your day. Bye!